enjoying Florida?
Yes. Weather is much better than last year. Definitely very nice.
What is different about training camp? You've now had a week plus with Johan. How's it going? What's different about it?
I would say a lot of things. He is very structured. He has very clear ideas. He knows exactly what he wants. Not only in like general bigger things, but also in the small details. Doesn't matter if it's offensively or defensively. And there are a lot of things that we as a team have to pick up and learn. And it's definitely a lot of fun, but it's also at the same time you have to be engaged because there are not a lot of new things that you have to learn.
Is that just a more fun thing to do, as a more enjoyable as a player to be in that environment?
Yeah, I mean, as a player, you always want to get better. You always want to improve your game. You want to never stop developing as a player, as a human being as well. So I think this is a good opportunity. A coach who brings in a lot of new ideas and gives you perspectives on things that you haven't had before. So it's a good opportunity for everyone.
Does your role change in any way?
That might be hard to say right now. I think definitely it's definitely a challenge because in some sense I also have to learn what he expects me to do. And right now I'm trying to find a balance of first doing what he asks me to do and what he wants me to do, but then at the same time bringing in my own qualities to help the team. And
Justin?
Yeah, anyway, I wanted to ask about the midfield group. Obviously, there are a couple new faces in camp, not just in some of the kind of young players coming in, but with like Lillington coming in and with Edelman coming in. How has that group just been gelling so far? And like, have you liked having some new faces around?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's always helpful for the team because obviously we need a deep roster for a long season. But then at the same time, it's competitive. You have new guys coming in, and everybody's fighting for their spot. And I think that brings up the quality in training. And the guys have done really well so far. And looking forward to how we connect more and more on the pitch.
Yeah, talking to Johan last week, you mentioned just the new leadership by Chris Durkin playing more of a bigger role in leadership discussions this year. What has that kind of transition been like as you look to find maybe a new voice with a new coach?
Can you repeat the question? What do you mean exactly?
Just like how has the leadership been just around the team with like Chris Durkin stepping up into a little bit bigger of a role and like your voice in the room, obviously?
I mean, he was already last year. That is not really something new. He was in a leadership group already last year, so there's not a big change on that. And he has been one of the leaders on the team before, and he's in there now again. I think it's definitely helpful for the team as well to have familiar faces that they can trust and that are trying to lead the team. So I don't think there are a lot of changes to that.
Excited.
Matt?
Edu, can you talk to us a little bit about the scrimmage this past weekend? How do you feel that went?
Oh, the scrimmage that we last weekend. Okay. I mean, we had tough. It was a tough challenge. Definitely, it was a lot of snow. It was the weather was pretty cold. The pitch was not as it is normally. So a lot of challenges on that part, but it was a good scrimmage. Really competitive. We are going after each other. So it was a lot of fun as well. And you could tell that the team was trying to implement a lot of the things already that we've learned from Johan. I think it was very positive and it went very well, and it seems so far that we are heading into a good direction.
And then talk to us about some of the new things that you guys are learning with Johan. You mentioned wanting to do his ideas. How has this week changed from last week in what he's having you learn?
Yeah, I think he tries to be very efficient in communicating instead of just giving us all the information at one time and then we will forget most of it, because there are a lot of things that we have to learn, and you can't just throw everything at us and then expect us to just put it into action. So I think he does very well to give us like time by time in small steps to communicate efficiently. This week we are focusing even more separately defensively. How do we play? How do we want to play offensively? How do we press? What are triggers? Where do we want the opponent to go? And then also with the ball, positioning, body positioning. A lot of new things for us. But I think so far the team has done pretty well to implement a lot of things in a really short period of time.
Thank you.
Edu, you've only been in camp, I guess, 10 days now, but looking forward to a scrimmage again or a game against another team, play someone else?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we are in Florida now for a couple of days. We are definitely looking forward to that. It's always fun to have scrimmages, and then what you learn in training to then really put it into action against an opponent who doesn't know how you want to play. So it's gonna be interesting for sure.
So during last week during the beep test, I think Lillington had finished, and you came over and were like talking to him afterwards and encouraging him. What do you see as your role in? Because you do that a lot in welcoming the newcomers into the team.
Yeah, I think it's never easy for a new player to come in, new environment, new location to live in, and a lot of new faces. And it doesn't matter if it's a younger guy or older guy. I'm just trying to make it as comfortable for them as possible, to feel welcomed and loved, and that they know they are just as much part of the team as everyone else. So I think especially for younger guys, also coming from college, it's maybe not that easy, because they definitely have to earn their spot, but at the same time they are just as much part of the team as everyone else, and I'm just trying to communicate that and make them feel that way.
We'll wrap up with Rocky.
Hey, Edu, I know you're learning the system, you're learning what Johan wants, but for you, just combining kind of your thoughts from the offseason into now talking to Johan and kind of figuring out what the system's going to be, what are the biggest things that you can kind of step forward in your game this season, you think?
That's a good question. I mean, I think like for me right now, as I said, I have to find a balance of, and right now I think I have to pull back a little bit on how do I want to bring in my qualities. And right now I have to focus more on what does he want me to do, and how do I do what he asked me to do on the pitch without losing the discipline, and then maybe getting impatient and then just doing my own thing. And from then on, when I really learn how he wants me to play in midfield, to then bring in maybe my kind of free role where I try to bring in my own qualities. And this is just a balance that I have to find right now. It's hard to tell like in what direction my game is hopefully gonna be better. I try to hopefully try to pull strings as I have been in the past, but then at the same time, I don't know, will I play in a double pivot, or will I be maybe higher up the pitch where I can be a little bit more dangerous in front of goal? That's probably too early to tell right now. But for me, it's just right now a lot of things that I have to take in, a lot of things that I have to learn, and keep my brain engaged the entire time. And I really want to do that. And then hopefully that's that's gonna make me a better player, combined with my own qualities that I can then combine with that and find a good balance on that.
Thanks, Ray. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Chris, good afternoon.
Hey, how you doing?
Fine. How has the training camp been for you so far, and how fun is it to not be hurt?
Yeah, it's been really fun. The energy, I think, has been off the charts. A lot of competition within training and guys trying to prove themselves. I even think Johan has been just impressed with where we are in terms of the level of fitness we've come back with, which I'm proud of the group in that regard. And on a personal basis, just being healthy, not thinking about my knee. I put a lot of work in to be where I am right now and how I'm feeling. So I'm really, really happy with the month and a half I had and can continue that now into the season.
On that first, I guess Tuesday of last week, when you guys did the beep test, and you were you got to the end. It was you and Daniel there at the end. How important was something like that for you to see, on early practice? Look, I am in good shape. I'm in as good a shape as anyone on this team.
I mean, obviously, it's something I pride myself in is taking care of my body. I believe my body is my biggest asset in this job, and how I take care of myself. And I knew that coming in with a good base of fitness was important, and also just to show the standard that we aspire to have here. I think we're a group that wants to be high energy, high pressing still, and that requires a big cardio capacity. And everybody else has that from what I see as well.
Yeah. How's it been with you and Daniel?
Good. We've have a lot of familiar faces we've crossed paths with, being in the U.S. soccer or youth U.S. soccer, both U17s, 20s, all of that. And I'm familiar with him from playing against him a couple times with DC United. Really quality player. I'm glad we're bringing in more and more MLS experience, knows the league really well. He'll be a great competitor to play against and to fight for that spot, but also a person to hopefully play next to as well, and get the best out of both of us too. So I'm looking forward to both roles.
Justin?
Chris, kind of on that same level, the news that Conrad Ballum coming back to the team, how excited is everyone just to have him back in the mix?
Yeah, I think we all saw just how well Conrad continued to evolve over the course of last season. He's an extreme competitor at first, which I think is really, really important. And to be able to prove yourself in your first year in the MLS, I think it is difficult. So bringing him back, I think, was really important. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife. You can plug him anywhere, and you're going to get a quality player. So really, really important that we brought him back, I think. Great for the locker room, and I'm excited to see what he does this year.
Does that add to just the general intensity? I know you talked about needing to be intense on the defensive side of the ball this year, but does adding his specific skill set just help with what the team is trying to do?
Yeah, I think the more guys we bring in like Conrad that are competitors that take it personal when they don't do the job to their standard, I think that is important. Everybody's taking it personally, and he takes it personally.
Matt?
Thanks, guys.
Chris, could you talk a little bit about how the scrimmage was this past weekend?
Yeah, I thought it was a really fun experience with the snow, bringing out the winter ball for the first time. I think I've ever played with that. We condensed the field a little bit to just be in a box-to-box, so a little bit tighter. But we're already starting to see some of Johan's tactical implementations starting to take over. And it's really, really promising stuff. It's still infant stages, I think, now where we are, but being able to test it against Red Bull soon as well will be really fun.
And what have you seen different this week compared to last week, and what Johan has been instilling on the group? How has he built upon last week to do maybe some new things this week?
Yeah, I think Johan has been one of the most structured coaches I've had to date. Very, very intentional with each session. And throughout these first 2 days here in IMG, we've focused a lot on defensive structure, which through conversations with him and other guys in the team, and just seeing from last year that needs to get a lot better. is defending our box, and defending our box starts with how well we press up top. And I think we lost some of that structure pressing last year. So it's really promising things. Everybody seems really on board. Everybody's really eager to learn, and the things that we implement at the start of training are the focus throughout the entire 90 minutes of training that we have. So it's really good work, I think.
And then last year you saw some time at center back. Has Johan given any indication that he might want to use you in that role, or has it been purely midfield so far this preseason?
There's been conversations on flexibility in my position. He wants me to have a little bit more continuity with what my role is this year, I think. But I'm always a guy that wants to do the best for the team and go wherever is needed. The past 2 years we've had injuries that have just made that happen, and we don't want that this year. But you just never know. But I know that he does want ball playing center backs, ball playing midfielders, everything. So I just have to be flexible and ready.
Thanks.
So,
Chris,
Tom?
how much pressure? There's always pressure on athletes, but going into this season after not making the playoffs the next 2 years, how important is it for you guys to turn this around?
Yeah, I think it's really important. The St. Louis City set the standard in their first year, and we've been chasing that ever since, which has been difficult. But I hope we just forget about it, and it's really easy to forget about it with the new face and Johan, who's bringing in a structure and an organization that I really believe that we can get behind. And with that structure and organization and belief in that system, I think that will get us to where we want to be. A full unit of 28 men bought into that will be crucial.
How's it been with the not that many new faces around, but how have whether they're draftees or others fitting in?
Yeah, everybody's trying to find their place. It's never easy in the first 10 days or so. It's hard, and you have your double sessions. But that's where you, as an older, more experienced guy, have to uplift them, keep pushing them, pick them up when mistakes are made, but also drive the standard at the same time of where we want to be. So just giving a little bit of both sides.
How much off-field work is there on learning what Johan wants, or is it all being done on the field?
There's definitely some presentations before trainings, and we haven't had a ton of real clips yet because we haven't played any games. So once we get that footage through friendlies against Red Bulls and Tampa Bay Rowdies and other teams, then we'll, I think, really start to dive into more of the video footage side of it. But we're doing as much as we can with the actual footage we've got.
Chris, thank you.
Thank you,
guys.
Chris.